What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Last Principles. I'm your host, M.A., former member of the ICOC, the International Churches of Christ, baptized on October 8th of 2000, escaped in November of 2013. All right, now, at the time of this recording, football season is right around the corner. NFL preseason is in full swing. The first college football AP poll came out, all that good stuff. So as I am eagerly anticipating the return of the regular season in the NFL, I'm reminded of a post that I saw the day after this year's Super Bowl. Someone had made a post talking about his experiences with Super Bowl parties at the ICOC in the past, and everybody was chiming in with their own experiences, horror stories, all of that. A lot of people's experiences are all tied to, I want to say, three different common things. First of all, Super Bowl parties at the ICOC were treated like regular meetings of the body. For all intents and purposes, that means that attendance was not optional. You had to be at the Super Bowl party. Now, if you like sports, if you like football, maybe that's not a big deal to you. If you're somebody who doesn't like football or somebody who doesn't like sports, period, that might be a point of contention for you. Being forced to be at something that you really don't want to be at, right? So you're being forced to be at this thing. You don't want to be there. Now, let's look at what else this means for you. Whether you want to be there or not, this is not your normal football game. You know, most football games last about 3 hours in the NFL, at least 3 hours. There's a game on in Eastern time. There's a game from like 1 to 4. There's one from like 4 to 7. And then there's one from 8 till about 11, right? So now the game was going to start around 6:30 or so on a Sunday night. Now, you also got to factor in that the commercials are longer because, you know, all the companies want to, you know, since everybody's watching the Super Bowl, they want to get in their big commercials during the Super Bowl. So the commercial breaks are longer. Halftime is longer because there's always a really big performance by whatever the hottest music stars are. So halftime is like doubly long. So you're looking at about 4 hours. You're looking at about 4 hours instead of 3. So the game itself is going to be from like 6 until 10 instead of 6 to 9. You're probably not getting there right on time because, you know, you're going to get discipled if you get there too late. And you're probably not leaving immediately because people still want to, you know, stand around and talk or help clean up and everything like that. So that's like 6 until about 11. And then on top of that, let's just say you don't have your own transportation. Now you're dependent on getting a ride. You're having to organize a ride to a place you don't want to be at in the first place. And then on the way home. So you're at the mercy of whoever is dropping you off. So let's just say you're not getting dropped off first. There's a chance you might not get home till midnight after the Super Bowl party. So if you add all that up, you've been there longer than a regular church service. Now, if you like football, if you like sports, maybe not a big deal. But if you're somebody who doesn't, then that might be some agony for you. I can see why you might loathe going to Super Bowl parties. So that's one thing. The fact that, you know, it's treated like a regular meeting of the body, you're forced to be there. 2, just like any other meeting of the body or any other event, it's treated as an evangelism tool. So you can't just go, even if you do like football, even if you do like sports, you can't just go just to enjoy the game. You gotta get visitors out there. You gotta get visitors. You gotta be sprinkling in some spiritual talks with the visitor while you're there. If you didn't have a visitor, or even if you did have a visitor, you're also trying to reach out to people there who you don't know, trying to build relationships with them and all of that, instead of just actually enjoying the game, right? So there's that pressure to bring people and to be spiritual while you're there. And third, now, if you're there at the Super Bowl party and you don't like football or you don't like sports in general, that's not an uncommon thing. I've been to many Super Bowl parties outside of the ICOC, and there are people there who don't actually like football or sports. That happens on regular games. Like, you know, if you're at somebody's house watching football, There's people there who may not actually like football, but you know what? At least at the Super Bowl, not at the Super Bowl, at least at a Super Bowl party, there's other things for them. They actually enjoy the fellowship. I'm talking about non-ICOC fellowship. People just having regular people conversations, right? Not weird, awkward conversations that are kind of forced sometimes. There are people there who may not have come for the game, but they're there for the actual party aspect of it. They're there for the food. They're there and they're watching for the commercials. Like, even if you actually enjoy football, a lot of times the commercials are more entertaining than the game. A lot of times the halftime show is more entertaining than the game. So if you're at a regular Super Bowl party, you got other things to entertain you. It's not a big deal, but not at an ICOC Super Bowl party. Because here's the thing. We make everything weird. Everything's got to be super spiritual. So you're forced to look away when the commercials come on, and especially during the halftime show, because you might struggle. Yep. So if you're at an ICOC Super Bowl party, if you're even allowed to keep the TV on while the commercials are on or while the halftime show is on, you can't watch it. You got to be engaged in conversation. You got to be looking away. You got to be in the other room, so you're not tempted to struggle with the lewdness, the vulgarity, the worldliness, quote unquote, that's happening during the commercials and the halftime show. So if you actually are there and you don't like football and you don't like sports at all, the one other thing there that might be entertaining to you, you can't watch it. So all of that shit rolled up in together. So that's why a lot of people had, a hard time with ICOC Super Bowl parties. There's one for me. Like, I never really had a bad time at any of them, but there was one in particular that stood out to me, at least when it comes to that last point. So we had I never keep up with the numbers of the Super Bowl. They always have them in Roman numerals. We're on Super Bowl 50 something. The only one that I know the number of is one I would rather forget, and it is Super Bowl 51. And I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan, so you can probably imagine why I hate that one. Anyway, the only other one that I hate is this one that I'm about to talk about. I don't remember the number of the Super Bowl, but I do know that it was the Super Bowl in 2010, that is a championship game for the 2009 regular season. If you don't know anything about NFL football, regular season starts early fall of that year. Regular season ends late. The regular season ends at the end of the year. Or no, it actually would spill over 1 week into the beginning of the next year. But that was back when it was just a 16-game season. Now it's 17 games. So it's about 2 weeks into the new year that the regular season ends. So then you got the playoffs, then you got the championship game, aka the Super Bowl. So that's at the beginning of the following year. So this is for the 2009 regular season. So it spilled over into 2010. So this is the Super Bowl that happened in 2010. This was the New Orleans Saints, the arch nemesis of my favorite team, against the Indianapolis Colts. So again, like I said before, this is an evangelism tool. We gotta use it to help make disciples. We gotta use it to help get people out and study the Bible, get them out of church. So it's a big to do. I believe this was a singles and campus venture here, because I do remember some campus kids being there with us. We had flyers, Facebook event was made, invites, all of that good stuff. We rented out this venue called Studio Space Atlanta. We'd actually been there before. I wasn't sure if we had been there before this, but I do know that this was not the only time we'd rented out that venue. We used it for Devos before. We used it for a Halloween party before. And it's a place where people do photo shoots, video shoots, things like that. If you ever go in there, there's pictures of different celebrities who have been in that space and done different, shoots of whatever kind there. Ironically, I'm actually at that venue at least twice a year since then, because, I've been there for a few cosplay events, cosplay photo shoot parties and things like that. So I've been back to that venue several times since then. So we rent out this venue, and we have the game showing on a projector. We're in this particular room where I don't know if you guys ever seen with photo shoots, that white room where like the wall is white, the floor is white, but where the floor and the wall meet, that corner, instead of it being a right angle, it's a curve. So like if you're taking a photo there, it's not obvious in the picture where the floor ends and the wall begins, that kind of thing. So we had a projector projecting the game onto that big white wall. Pretty dope. I'm down with that. We got the chairs and everything. But on the flyer, it was advertised that there was going to be a DJ at the Super Bowl party. I don't think too much of it at first, but I mean, it wasn't a bad thing to me, but I did think, why the fuck do we need a DJ at the Super Bowl party? Why do we need a DJ at a Super Bowl party? And this is no diss to, we had a brother who was a professional DJ who we would always hire. Well, I'm hoping they hired him. I don't know. Knowing the ICOC, there's a chance that he didn't get paid for stuff, but I'm hoping that's not the case for his sake. I'm hoping that it wasn't always volunteer work. But there's a DJ that we had who was a member of the church in our Mary's ministry. He used to always DJ all of our parties. So he's DJing the Super Bowl party. Again, nothing against him, pretty decent DJ, but I'm like, why do we need a DJ at a Super Bowl party? Let me tell you why. Why do we need a DJ at the Super Bowl party? Because whenever the commercials came on, they would turn the projector off and have him spin some music to keep us from struggling. So we're having very short dance parties while the commercials are going, because nobody can be trusted to be a grown person and just regulate themselves if they do happen to struggle during the commercials. But what's also happening is they shut the projector down during the halftime show. Now, I do think this is after the whole Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson debacle. So to some degree, I can understand. Still, we know after that the Super Bowl was, they played it. NFL played it safe for a little bit after that. So I really don't think there was too much danger there. But still, they shut the projector down during the halftime show, and now we got like a 30-minute little dance party. So that's why they had a DJ there. Had a DJ there to keep people from struggling. Yes, I paused for emphasis there. But yeah, I was like, no, just it was just weird as hell to me. Again, nothing against the DJ himself, nothing against having a good dance party in and of itself. But we came to watch the Super Bowl. We came to watch the commercials. We came to watch the halftime show. But no, again, we can't be trusted to be adults. We can't be trusted to be spiritual on our own. We have to have a hedge around it. It was just weird to me. I wasn't like, oh, I hate this. It was just weird. It was just unnecessary. Anyway, that's it. Y'all have a good night. Y'all hit me up in the comments if y'all got any Super Bowl, any ICOC Super Bowl horror stories to share. Hit me up if y'all got any other topics I want me to cover. Again, me and this channel, I'm just here to be a voice to people who may have left and they need some help. They need some reassurance that they ain't crazy. They need just somebody to let them know that they are not alone out there. I'm here to validate you, let you know you're not crazy, let you know that your feelings, your experiences and all of that are valid. I am not here to bash the ICOC. If you take my if you interpret me sharing my experiences as bashing, so be it. But the intent is not to bash. If you take that as bashing, then that's something you really need to sit with and unpack. I'm just sharing my experiences. I'm not here to tell anybody to leave the ICOC or join the ICOC. None of that. If you want to leave, I'm here to help you. If you have left and you need help, I'm here to help you however much I can. But yeah, that is it. Y'all have a good night, and I will see y'all at the next video. Peace.